I now have the pleasure of introducing ChelseaCWilliams. Chelsea is an entrepreneur, workplace educator, and professional speaker. She is the founder and CEO of Reimagine Talent Company, a national talent and workforce development firm based in Raleigh. Chelsea's team empowers employers, educational institutions, and nonprofits with high-impact talent solutions that support employee engagement, development, and retention. This year, Reimagine Talent Solutions have supported 12 organizations and guided 2,500 leaders and professionals across the U.S. Reimagine Talent's unique focus on multi-generational workplaces provides organizations with tailored talent development that builds human potential, drives marketplace outcomes, and benefits communities. Welcome, Chelsea.
If there is a topic that I am passionate about, it is transforming workplaces. And here's the thing, I'm not only passionate, but it is relevant to all of you. Why is it relevant? Well, I will hone in today on the generational conversation. You likely know that there are 5 generations in the workplace. Can I get a nod if you're feeling that, experiencing that? Awesome. There are 5, from traditionalists and boomers to Gen Z. In some industries, traditionalists are still holding on strong, still working. We need to understand as association executives how to support this generation forward. But today we're going to focus specifically on Gen Z, also known as your early talent. Okay, and I hear there's a lot of conversations around this group. We're going to talk about them because there is a significant shift happening in workplaces. Younger generations are now the majority, and we're seeing that in organizations. As they pull their data, they're seeing the growth that's happening, and that will come over the next 5 to 10 years. So there's 2 things I want you all to know in our short time together. First, Gen Z is expected to represent 30% of the workforce by 2030, tomorrow. We as employers and association executives must stay evolved of our talent strategy and evolve it to meet the demands of the future. Despite the headlines, generational diversity isn't a problem to be solved. It's an opportunity to be maximized. So I want us to see this as a future-focused initiative. Now, time for you to reflect a little bit. When you think of Gen Z, what one word comes to mind? I want you to get that word in your mind. Hold on to it tight. I ask this question across the country, and I'm here to tell you I get positive responses and negative responses. I'm not going to do it in this moment because I want to push us towards opportunity, but I do want to share a couple of things that you should know about this segment. They are digital natives, personally expressive, inclusive consumers. They are socially minded, community-oriented, most ethnically diverse generation yet. They are expected to overtake boomers in spending by 2030. This is the relevance of this conversation. So in our time, we're going to talk about 4 practical steps you all can take as association leaders to engage and develop Gen Z. Are you ready? All right. So first, I want you to think about your journey into career. It's relevant because this is the connection point for Gen Z. Because the truth is, how we navigated through our careers isn't the same as how this generation is navigating through their careers. I often hear leaders say, back in my day, how we used to do things. And here's the truth. We cannot possibly do things the way that we used to do things. It is a new day and a new age. We must be mindful of where we are and where we're going. So let's get into the steps. Step 1, what do I want to encourage you to do? I want you to assess where we are. We as the collective, the macro conversation, what's happening politically, economically, and socially matters as we seek to reach talent. So much is going on. I can only put a few on the slide. From war and terror and protests to economic inflation, student loan repayment, flexibility, mental health, technology advances, all of this impacts all generations, but younger generations haven't navigated through this yet, so it is new for them. So we as employers can support their ability to thrive in spite of what is happening. We must consider how we attract this generation, given what is going on. Develop this generation, engage, and retain. Point number 2, you must assess where you are. This is the micro, where you come into your organization. What is the industry outlook for the association field or those industries you support? Because some industries, we're seeing the shrink as boomers are preparing to retire. More on that shortly. You must know your generational demographics, pulling that data and seeing the breakdown. Finally, now's the perfect time to look at your benefits and your practices. What do you offer to your staff at large? And where are there opportunities to tailor offering, a la carte, to reach out to people where they are on their career journey? Depending on the industries you support, there are unique challenges. Virtual reality, AI, preventative health, boomers retiring. We spent some time with accountants, and that's one field where we are seeing this shortage now, but will continue over time, and we have to be thoughtful about reaching this generation so that our industries and sectors can thrive. Point number 3, I want you to seek to understand. What does this mean? There is no solution that goes in front of proximity, conversation, seeking to understand. So the research tells us that there are some qualities Gen Z love in an employer. Now, some of these transcend generations, but there's 2 I want to point out that are the shifts. Professional development, upward mobility. I want to know where I'm going, even if it's in my interview. I want to know what's going to happen in 6 months. You take it as it is. Flexibility. We've seen this particularly after COVID. The interest in flexibility not being laziness, flexibility being choice, and purpose. And I want us to talk a little bit about purpose. So what we do often at Reimagine Talent is we do what we preach, right? So we asked some Gen Zers in Denver in a conference a couple of weeks ago what they desire in an employer. Let's put it to work. Let's put this challenge to work. And this is a list of some of their responses. Flexibility, understanding, respect, training, growth. I encourage you to do this as you engage your teams, okay? As you engage your members so that you can understand not how you change your entire talent strategy for one group. That's not what I'm saying. But how you're mindful of the evolving values that are shifting for each group. Point number 4, and this is essential. We have to upskill leaders. Because leadership then is not leadership now. There is a significant opportunity for us to invest in those who oversee teams, building skills like coaching for growth and performance, giving and receiving feedback, managing inclusively. And if we focus on leaders, I'll tell you, we've done work in the diversity space before, and it is leadership development, starting from the top, that changes culture. You can have programs, you can have partnerships in the community. If you're not investing in everyday leaders, you are missing the opportunity to transform culture and reach this next generation. Let's recap. 30% of the workforce expected to be Gen Z by 2030. Are you ready? That's the question for you. Despite the headlines, this is not a problem, it's an opportunity. I want you to consider what I shared. What's the opportunity for you? Stay in touch. We would love to share with you our research on Gen Z. We've researched thousands of experiences of Gen Z and those who lead them. If you are interested, you can text training to 55444 to learn more and to bring this short segment to your organization. Thank you so much for your time.
Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Back in my day, Chelsea, we both speak on the generations, and I'll say one thing about boomers. They're not retiring. There's money to be made. They're not going away. You'll have to, the last boomer, you have to push him out the door.